When you expose yourself to biographies of highly successful people, when you expose yourself to successful people and learn their story, when you read books and watch documentaries on Netflix, Prime Video, YouTube of successful people, and you keep seeing over and over again, the biggest thing they all have in common is hard work and work ethic, it becomes very easy for you to develop that same belief. So how do you build momentum in your day in the most efficient way? Have a great morning routine. But let me share a secret with you. The only way you can have a great morning routine is if you have a great night routine. Welcome to our channel, everyone. It's awesome to have you with us. Today, I'm gonna talk about a very, very critical topic, work ethic. And I'm gonna give you 4 simple steps that you can apply as of today on how you can improve your work ethic. So if you're someone listening to this who has a great work ethic, good. This is gonna teach you how to take that to the next level. If you're someone who believes maybe you're a little bit lazy or don't have the best work ethic, I'm gonna teach you how to improve that to a good or even great level so you can begin your success journey. Look, here's the first step to developing an amazing work ethic. You need to understand and believe that hard work is required and is important in your journey to success. Let me share something with you. One of the biggest advantages that I had growing up was I watched my father become highly successful. Now, why was this such a great advantage for me? Because I saw him work his butt off for many years without much result, and then eventually I saw all the results for his hard work. So what that taught me as a young, impressionable child was hard work pays off, and hard work is required for success to even happen. Now, if you're watching this and you're like, Nima, I don't really have anyone around me that has that kind of work ethic. I haven't really seen it before. How do I develop that belief? All our beliefs start from the same place, programming. Now, how do you program yourself? It's your associations, the friends, the podcasts, the audiobooks, the videos, the movies, the things you say to yourself. And when you're starting out on your journey to success, it's hard to find associations that are at the level that you want to be at. And even if you find them, sometimes it's hard to get them to want to hang out with you and spend time with you. But what I did when I was starting out, when I had this issue, is I would listen to audiobooks whenever I turned my car on. I would read books as much as I could. I would expose myself to podcasts and videos like this as much as I could. Why? Because I realized that this is the way that I can start exposing myself to the right associations. And that started to change the way that I think. It started to change the way that my belief systems work, and it started to change the way that I talk, which helped me attract better people in my life. But here's the truth about this. When you expose yourself to biographies of highly successful people, when you expose yourself to successful people and learn their story, when you read books and watch documentaries on Netflix, Prime Video, YouTube of successful people, and you keep seeing over and over again, the biggest thing they all have in common is hard work and work ethic, it becomes very easy for you to develop that same belief. But that's the first step. Develop a belief that hard work is important and it's required. Because work ethic is all about standards. Someone who has a great work ethic has high standards for their work. Somebody who doesn't have such a good work ethic has low standards for their work. And your standards come from your beliefs. Now that you got that down, let's go to the second step. You gotta learn to build momentum. Look, momentum is everything. If you have it, life becomes a lot easier. If you don't, life becomes a lot harder. And it's the same when it comes to how your day goes and your work ethic. Look, some days you're gonna wake up and you're gonna be totally up for it. You feel good, you're motivated, you're ready to go. Awesome. But most days you wake up, you're not gonna feel up for it. You might feel a little drowsy. If you didn't eat the best foods the night before, maybe you feel a little bloated. You're gonna feel a little bit lack of motivation on some days. Okay, those are the days that all of the things that I'm gonna talk about in this video matter the most. Because on the days where you feel good, things are already good. But it's the days that you don't feel so good that what you do matters more than anything. And what I learned is that every discipline leads to another, and every lack of discipline leads to another. What does that mean? That means if you wake up without hitting the snooze button, you're more likely to hit the gym. If you hit the gym, you're more likely to eat healthy. If you eat healthy, you're more likely to read the book. If you read the book, you're more likely to get what you need to get done. Why does it work that way? Because as I mentioned in my video on dopamine, dopamine is released after action, not before. That means many times we don't feel like doing what we need to do, but if we do it anyways, then the dopamine that we need is released from it. So if I don't feel like going to the gym, which many days I don't, I still go, and when I start working out, dopamine starts getting released. And when I have the dopamine in me now, it's a lot easier for me to come back and eat healthy. It's a lot easier for me to go and read the book. So it's so important that you get your day off on the right track. So how do you build momentum in your day in the most efficient way? Have a great morning routine. But let me share a secret with you. The only way you can have a great morning routine is if you have a great night routine. So many people struggle with morning routines. I struggle with my morning routine for the longest time. And you know what I realized? The reason it's hard for me to get my morning routine in place is because I don't have a good enough night routine in place. See, how you finish the last day builds the momentum in terms of how you start your next day. So if the night before you go to bed late, you eat bad food, the next day it's gonna be harder to wake up on time and you're gonna be tired when you do wake up. But if the night before you stop eating a couple hours before bed, you get into bed in a calm state, you get good sleep, you get the hours that you need in, it's way easier to wake up on time the next day. When you wake up, you feel a lot better as well. So it's a lot easier to do your habits. So here's the biggest thing that I want you to take away from what I'm saying. Don't just focus on your morning routine. If anything, focus more on your night routine. Because if you get the night routine right, the morning routine becomes easy. But if you try to get the morning routine right, but not the night routine, it's never gonna work for you. But when you get into habits means that you can do the work without putting any more energy or willpower into it. That habit allows you to build the level of discipline you need to build to go to that next level. Does that make sense? So, number 2, build momentum in your day. Easiest way to build momentum, have a great night routine, have a great morning routine, and that's gonna carry you throughout your day. Okay, here's the next part to building momentum in your day. Schedule yourself in bulk. What do I mean by this? Haven't you noticed that on the days that you're the busiest, you get the most done? The days where you have a lot to do, you end up being the most productive, you end up being the most efficient. And then on those days where you don't have that much to do, maybe you got a couple tasks, 3, 4 only, and they're spread out through the day, you're the least efficient and you're the least productive. Why does that happen? Exact reason that I mentioned to you earlier. It's all about momentum. So here's what I learned to do. I put my work into bulk. So what I do is I go from 9 a.m. to let's say 12:30 p.m. I need to get this, and this done. And I tell myself, I'm not gonna go on my phone, I'm not gonna do anything until I get all these tasks done until 12:30. At 12:30, I take a little break. Maybe I go on my phone, maybe I have a little bit of food, whatever it is. Then I get into my next bulk of work from let's say 1 p.m. until 5 p.m. Boom, 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 I get all my tasks done. Then at 5 p.m., I do another maybe 30-minute break. And then again from 5:30. So why this works is when I'm in workflow, when I'm in work mode, I get things done and I get them done fast and I get them done at the highest level. But I realize that when I spread things out too much, where I do a couple things here, a couple things there, I never get into that momentum, I never get into that flow, so I get less done and I'm less productive. So schedule yourself in bulk. Have your tasks laid out the night before, just like I talk about in my time management video, and make sure those tasks are bundled up in different bulks. Get it done, take a break. Get it done, take a break. Remember something. In order to be a great entrepreneur, you need to learn to be a great boss to yourself. A great boss schedules the employees in a way where they can get the most done with the most efficiency. You gotta do the same thing with yourself. So 2 points when it came to building momentum. 1, have great night routine and great morning routine. And 2, make sure you bulk your tasks into different time frames in the day so you can get into that flow state and get more done faster. All right, let's go to the next point. Here's the 3rd step. Measure your performance more often. If you want to improve your work ethic, you got to measure your performance more often. Let me explain. The average person only checks their performance once a year. That means once a year, let's say New Year's Eve, they look back and they go, how did I do the past year? What's the problem with that? The problem is that they can only improve and change once a year. Then you have performers that are better than average, a little bit better, maybe not so much better, and they check their performance once a month. So once a month, they look back and they go, how did I do the last month? And now they get 12 chances every year to change. The top performers, they check their performance once a week. So every week they go, how did I do that week? And they change and adjust accordingly. Now with the once a week performers, they get 52 chances every year to change. But then you got world-class performers. World-class performers check their performance every day. That means every day they check and they go, how did I do today? And based on that, they get 365 chances a year to change, to get better, to adjust. And then you have the elite performers. We're talking about the top 0.0001%. They check their performance once an hour. Meaning every hour they ask themselves for 30 seconds, how did I do the last hour? And now they get millions of opportunities to change every year and adjust, which makes their performance that much better. So if you want to improve your work ethic, tip number 3, measure your performance more often. Tip number 4, let's go right into this one. I love this one. Have the right associations. Look, if you got a lot of lazy friends who don't work hard, you're never gonna have great work ethic. Nima, what do you mean? Here's what I mean. You wanna work after 8 p.m., they wanna go for beers. It's not gonna work. You work your butt off all weekend, they give you a call. Man, what are you doing working all weekend? We did this, we did that. They make you feel bad for working hard. You think you're gonna be able to have great work ethic when you got a bunch of lazy friends who keep telling you about how much fun they're having not working hard while you're out there sweating your butt off and giving it everything you got in the office till late at night and every weekend? No way. So you go, Nima, what do I do? How do I change this? Let me tell you, I never tell people to eliminate their friends. I never tell people to cut people off. I'm just telling you, reduce the amount of time you spend with them. That's it. If you spend every night talking to them, if you spend every day with them, maybe now instead of every night, instead of every day, you only talk to them once a week. Maybe you talk to them once a month. But here's another tip to add to that. Let's say you're in a situation where it's someone who you can't stop associating with. Maybe it's a coworker. Maybe it's a family member that you live with. Okay, what else can you do? Set some strict boundaries. Tell them, be like, hey, every time you tell me about how I'm working too much, how, I'm so obsessed with what I do, and you say it in a negative connotation, it makes me feel bad about myself. Would you mind keeping that comment to yourself? Now, if they're a person that cares about you, that loves you, that wants you to get better, they'll stop. If they don't stop, then maybe you gotta get a little bit more stricter, and at some point you may have to distance yourself from them, like I mentioned earlier, so they don't influence you again. But I'm telling you right now, if you have associations who work hard, who believe working hard is good, who give you props, who recognize you for putting in the work, it's gonna be much easier to develop a great work ethic. If you have the opposite, you're always gonna question yourself, you're always gonna have doubts, you're always gonna wonder, am I working too much? And that's not gonna help you. So change your associations. And like I mentioned earlier in the video, sometimes when you're starting on the success journey, you're not gonna have that many great associations around you. But one of the best ways you can associate with the right people, even if they're not your friends, even if they're not your family members, is through their books, through their podcasts, through their videos, through their documentaries, because that way you can expose yourself to their mentality. And if every time you turn on the car and you have this audiobook that goes off that says how important hard work is, you're gonna feel good about being a hard worker. If every time you go watch a documentary or biography of someone you are inspired by and they tell you how hard work is so important to success, you're gonna feel good about your work ethic. And it's gonna increase your belief that by keeping that up, you're gonna go to the next level. So these were 4 simple tips on how you can improve your work ethic starting today. 1, understand that work ethic is important and change your belief and standards when it comes to your work ethic. 2, build momentum in your day. Learn to have great night routine, great morning routine, and learn to bulk your tasks in your day so you can get more done in a flow state with a lot more momentum. Number 3, measure your performance more often. Check your performance more often than your competitors do, and you have more opportunity to change and adjust and get better at it. So if you notice you didn't work hard the last hour, you work harder the next hour. You notice you didn't work that hard in the last week, you work harder the next week, and so on and so forth. Last but not least, have the right associations. If you have hardworking people around you, you got motivated people around you, being motivated and being hardworking becomes easy. If you have the opposite, it becomes a struggle and it becomes a battle. So change your associations to have more people that think the way you need to think to get to the next level. Thank you so much for watching this video. Please subscribe. Please click the bell button so you can get notified every time you have a new video. And last but not least, if you got some good tips for us to take advantage of, please share it in the comments and so we can improve our work ethic with you and go to the next level. Hope you enjoyed this video. I got a phenomenal video about motivation. If you click right here, you can understand the difference between extrinsic and intrinsic motivation. And by learning to motivate yourself in a more effective way, I promise you, you're gonna be a much harder working person. Thank you everyone. Have a good day. Bye-bye.